Hey, we're back here again for another week. Top of the morning to you, and welcome to the Auspicious Wellness, Optimal Wellness Podcast. I'm glad to be in studio with you today. Come on in. As always, I'm inviting you to take a virtual seat at the table with us today. It's time for our Monday morning drive time show. And you know where we're at, broadcasting live in studio. We don't do ordinary, but guess what? We endeavor to bring you an extraordinary experience, the Auspicious Wellness Experience. My name is Debbie Smith Torrance, your host. I'm a life and health coach, a manufacturer in cannabinoid molecules for short, and an IT developer. And what I'm especially passionate about is being a wife and a mother. We're broadcasting here today. We're getting it in. It's the beginning of fall, and so we're going to just fall on in line and get it going with you today. We're broadcasting live on the Apple Podcast platform, Spotify Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Alexa, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, Deezer, Listen Note, Podbean, Overcast, Pocket Cast, Castro, and Castrobox. And there's a bunch more I don't know about that I'm learning about. We'd like to thank our listeners in the United States, Ireland, Germany, France, the Philippines, and the United Kingdom. We're just really excited that you're supporting us all over the world, and we are global now, and we just thank you. It's a very humbling experience. It really is, and I just want to thank you for just giving us your time, and I hope that we continue to bring you informative information that you can digest and wrap your mind around, and that hopefully it brings you, a sense of optimal wellness is what we're trying to promote, optimal wellness, mind, body, spirit, and soul, not just one part, not just health, but everything that it encompasses. And so that's what this is all about for us. And it's a mission, and the passion is here, and we're here with you. Okay, so I also want to say to you, wherever you are in the world, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, because we're on all different time zones, especially globally. And it is time for us to dig in, drill down, and guess what? Most importantly, be true to you. Our guest hosts today are Charles Thomas, a personal trainer. His business is called Faith, Health, and Wellness. He's out of Fairfax, Virginia. Along with our other guest hosts, is three of us today. Along with our other guest host, Erwin Harris, a mentor in his community, helping adolescent youth with mentalism, mindset for success, perseverance, and mental agility. And he's out of Boise, Maryland. The name of Erwin's business is DMV Health and Wellness Solutions, and also Swag Styles, and he's available also to help you with that mental agility and perseverance and the mentalism, and he's a wonderful person to listen to. They both are. Our episode today is centered around the necessary tools for success involving movement, and this is a spinner today, I'm trying to tell you, to help aid you in many, many facets of your life. So we're not going to just stick to one kind of topic. They all tie in together. And I'm really, really excited about this one. So without further ado, I'm going to bring Charles into the mic. Hey, Charles, good morning. How you doing?
Good morning. How you doing?
I'm doing well. What the heck is going on in Fairfax, Virginia with the weather? How's the weather down there? I just want to ask, how's the weather?
It was drizzling earlier this morning when I got up. There was around about 4:30, and it was kind of musty outside. But I think it stopped raining now, but it's still a little muggy outside.
Okay, all right, okay. And then I also want to bring Erwin in. Erwin, how are you doing today? And what's going on down there in Maryland where you are? Well, I guess I'm saying Boise. Boise. What's going on down there where you are?
Well, I'm doing great. I've been up all night. I'm excited for this blessed another day. The weather is on the cool side right now, but no rain in the forecast, and we should have a lovely day, probably in the 80s somewhere.
Okay, all right. Well, you know what? We have all different kind of weather systems going on around the United States today, so I just thought I'd ask just to throw that in there. But I'm really excited today in this episode about wellness. I'm super, super excited. So before we get into this, we just want to let our viewers know today that, give you our disclaimer, this information that we're sharing here is not intended to diagnose, treat, or cure. As always, we want you to consult with a medical professional to, get the advice that you need. Listen to us, of course. That was what we're hoping that you do. But also, if you want to incorporate this into your lifestyle, then always speak to your physician about it before doing so. With that being said, let's get busy. So, Charles, I know that you are a personal trainer. A lot of our audience don't really know this, but I'd like to find out from you, or just share with our audience. I know we've talked about this in the past, and what is it that brings your passion? What motivates you to want to be a personal trainer? What is it about being a personal trainer that motivated you to reach out and decide that you're going to go on this journey? What's that about?
What motivated to me, I see how just what motivated me is, like, I see how just being in shape makes a big difference in your life. Like, when I was in high school, I ran track, I played football, and then after high school, I went in the Marine Corps for a while, and I saw the big difference that it made. Whereby I was a good athlete in high school, but when I went to the Marine Corps, they brought out the best in me because of nutrition and the workout and the mindset. And it did a lot to help lift my morale. And it's like, when I was younger, I didn't have that much self-confidence. So going in the Marine Corps and going through their program and their process and their system, and I see how it helped change me and all of the people around me from start to end, that's what made me motivated me to become a personal trainer. And later, after I got more into it, I know it was my God-given purpose to help others as far as health and nutrition. This was the vehicle that the Lord was going to use me for as his vessel in order to do his work.
Wow, that's really great, that you can find your purpose, because a lot of times it takes a minute before people can really, really find their purpose and what's really driving them. And it's a beautiful thing when you can connect that, and you're doing something in a meaningful way. That's beautiful. I remember you and I really want you to share this. I remember you and I, we were talking about this young man that you trained, and he had a disability. And, it was such a touching story. If you can just kind of share one of the areas that you kind of train people in and why you do it, the young man that you were training, if you can kind of bring that to, just talk to us about that a little bit, because it's real special. And I had never, ever heard it before. And I'm pretty sure that a lot of people don't know that personal trainers do train people in this area and why they do it and the results that they get. Can you share that with us today?
Yeah, so a young man I used to train, he had autism, and it was kind of like they have problems having attention span, but it's like we developed this relationship where he would listen to me, and his doctor had referred him to me. That's how I started training this young man. Mm-hmm. She said she think that I would be good because I have patience to deal with something like this. And by training that gentleman, we developed a relationship, because the gentleman had autism, I didn't treat him like a baby or anything. I respected him, and he respected me, and we grew this great bond and relationships. And a lot of times when he used to have issues with his mom or something like that, and his psychiatrist and all the other people couldn't control him, he would call me, and I can talk to him and calm him down just because of the relationship that we built with each other. And it was, Chris, he had like autism, but Chris he was a fantastic person. He could remember the first day that we started training. He could dictate everything back to me. Like he said, "Yeah, Charles, this is the first day we started training. This is how long you've been training me." Wow. It's like everything verbatim. But now, Chris is doing things on his own, and he's a lot better. So
That's wonderful because, autistic people are very intelligent people too. They're extremely intelligent.
Yes, they are.
And a lot of people don't really understand that they just have a different way of expressing themselves, which is, we all are different in one way or another. It's just that what defines us sometimes as difference can be one of our greatest strengths if we really look at it sometimes, because there's so many different type of normals and new normals. So everything is not always as it is on paper. Everyone has something that they bring to the table in the most beautiful way, and we're all different in our own individual ways. And that's that story never left me, and I just wanted you to share that story with our audience. And getting into your profession, when you're getting into your profession, and what is it that you see when people? How do you bring people in when they make excuses for wanting to train, or make excuses for not being able to do something? How do you help them work through their realization that they can? Because sometimes people feel that they can't, and they just want to throw in the towel right away and say, that's as much as I can. I can't do any more today. That's all I can do. How do you help them to realize their potential, that they can go further? What do you do?
What I do, I have a conversation with them, and I talk to them about, why are you doing this? What is your reason for doing this? And then
Yeah.
once I let them realize their reason for doing it, they develop a different mindset. I like what I tell all my clients. I said, everything is a temporary situation. Look at it as that. And I say, you have to free yourself from yourself, because until you free yourself from yourself, you cannot become comfortable with things that you cannot become comfortable with things that are comfortable.
Right.
So
right.
So once we all free ourselves from ourselves in every aspect of life, then there are no limits that we will put on ourselves, and we will be able to accomplish just about anything that we set out to do, as long as we don't have no medical or physical limitations.
Right. And if I may ask our other guests, to our other co-host today, to come in and interject with us a little bit on that part, which is what he's really great about as well. Erwin, as you working with youth and working with people and getting them to help change their mindset, what's that like for you when you're working with someone and you know that it's some work, but there's potential there? What is that like for you to help them to start to even understand that they have potential? What is that like for you?
Well, actually, that gives me a great glory of working with youth, 18 and younger. So a lot of them have made mistakes and went down the wrong path. Mm-hmm. But overall positiveness, I try to instill into them that you can always turn your life around. So you only can go but so far before you hit a wall, and the only thing to do is turn around and go in the other direction. So basically trying to lead through example and instill discipline into these individuals right now. So always let them know that they can always do better, make mistakes. I've also had some of my clients I'm working in a correctional facility setting, so I actually have some clients who have had some serious charges and things, but they basically accepted the consequences, decided to turn their life around. I had to put in this hard work. A lot of them got degrees and married now, and a couple of them even have their own businesses. So while I'm out in the street, I always see individuals that always thank me for believing in them, and I always tell them that they could make it and change their life around. So I get great joy out of that. Like I still get phone calls and Facebook messages from